the stasis, basically.
And these factories is just in case you just need to do some old-fashioned 2/2 creature attacking.
Yeah, so they can be the alternate win condition, but most of the time it's just there for a little bit more blocking, just to give me a little bit more time to find my combo pieces.
And Time Twister is I don't understand how Time Twister fits into this then.
So the Time Twister, basically just even knowing that this is in my deck allows me to aggressively play those boomerangs. Like, let's say I don't yet have my combo pieces, but I have boomerangs. And I need to slow you down, and I got Howling Minds, and we're both drawing cards, right? But you're tapping 4 or 5 mana to play a creature. If I just boomerang it for 2, I keep doing that. So I've kept you tripped up, and now I'm ready to like combo out, but all the pieces I need are like in my graveyard. So knowing that I have a twist in my deck lets me aggressively play spells out of my hand because I know I can get them back in. So it's really the graveyard recursion, but since Time Twister also fills your hand back up, if I have you locked and I twist, you're going to die from the vices.
So why no Force of Will then? If this is a lockout deck and Force of Will is a counterspell that you can use alternate paying on the
because it's old school, and Force of Will is not allowed because we go all the way up to Fallen Empires. So unfortunately, there's no Force of Will.
Okay, so that's the only reason why.
Yeah, that's the only reason. Otherwise, it would for sure.
Because I was gonna say, it seems like if you're doing a lockout deck, you'd want alternate.
And there's
like Phyrexian mana type cards, you know.
Exactly. There's one other thing that's really important. Notice that there's power sinks. There's not counterspell. There's power sink.
That's true.
And the reason why is because power sync, people always forget, this forces the opponent to tap their mana. If they can't respond to the power sync, all their lands get locked down. And that's exactly what I want to do. So what'll happen sometimes is people, they have like just say they got a Serendib Efreet they want to cast, or a Jazam. And they put a Mox on the table thinking that's going to be it. I power sync the Mox, and I don't care about the Mox, but since I power sync their Mox, it counters the Mox and it locks all the rest of their mana, and now they can't cast the creature. So the power sinks are literally just to lock them down.
And you came up with all this? Or
yes.
was this based on another deck you saw?
No, I came up with this.
How long did it take you?
I had this on my YouTube channel. I started with one version, and I kept refining it, and eventually went mono blue. And then I eventually added the red in, so it's gone through like 4 revisions. I'd say like 3 months of refining and playing to kind of come up with it. And I'm still trying to get the sideboard like worked out, and I've shared the sideboard with some other people internally. Like I've let them know what I'm currently doing with it. And I don't want to release that yet for Turbostasis 2.4.
Cool. So do you want to sell it?
No.
How much do you want?
This is my only set of Power 9 and my only volcanics and stuff. If I sell this, I can't play anymore. So, no. But thank you, though.
All right. Edwin, thanks for coming in. If you guys want to check it, he has a YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description. I appreciate everybody. Very cool stuff. And thanks for watching. It's a fantastic day. Very cool.
Bye, everybody.
Edwin, are you sure you don't want to sell the deck? I mean, there's nothing like.
Yeah.
Do you have everybody has a price? There's nothing. Come on.
It's
Peer
I don't want to
pressure.
sell it. No.
Sell the deck.
Nah, I don't want to sell it.
Buy a gift box.
I don't want to sell it.
Get the camera off. Turn the camera off.
If you write anything on your computer, you need to get Grammarly.
I write pretty much all day, every day, and Grammarly makes my writing better.
As a student, I like that it's free.
It actually is correcting everything as I'm writing it.
Grammar errors, spelling errors, and even helps me find the right words to use so I can say what I want to say.
It catches all those embarrassing little mistakes before I hit send.
I downloaded Grammarly around my freshman year because I was just horrible at typing.
Grammarly is like my secret weapon for writing papers.
It's the perfect tool for your resume. You know, you don't want any errors when it's your first impression.
I use Grammarly for important emails, social media posts, which there are a lot of.
I've used every tool out there, and Grammarly is by far the best for improving your writing.
Grammarly is making me a better writer, and it's free.
I would recommend Grammarly if you're a student.
My family.
My peers, my colleagues.
It's like having your own personal proofreader for free.
Download Grammarly for free at Grammarly.com.
I definitely don't want to be the fun police here, but there are a couple of important things that a few other people have talked about that I wanted to signal boost and make sure as many people as possible were informed on in terms of buying booster packs. There's there's information that I think everybody should know before they ever buy another booster pack. Now, cracking packs is one of the most fun parts of the hobby, in my opinion. I love cracking booster packs. I love cracking booster boxes. But as I have gotten a little bit older and a little bit wiser, I started to understand a little bit more about how these packs were packaged, and really the road I went down started with me being really disheartened with the print quality on the last couple of Magic print runs. While Wizards has a loose replacement policy that still places 100% of the burden on the consumer to mail in cards and request complaint or replacements. And I don't really think it's a viable offsetting alternative to simply improving the print quality. When you add to that the seemingly sketchier and sketchier rarity manipulation going on with the print runs, I think it's time for fewer people to buy booster packs, or at least for most people. And so I think even if you know what I'm going to talk about, even if you already knew this, and I know a lot of you will, I think you should definitely, like this video so more people can find it, or post it to your Facebooks or your Magic groups so people can understand a little bit about how what is inside your booster pack actually gets there. So way back in the day, Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, the Dark, there actually used to be a more of a true random assortment of the cards that went into the packs. And this was good and bad. It was bad because you could end up getting a basic land in your uncommon slot. Good because there's possibility, there was no real control over whether you got like a couple of the good uncommons or a couple of the rare, 2 rares in a pack. Things like this used to happen. As Wizards instituted Mythic Rarity, it became a little more clear, with more people mass box opening like myself and large channels like Alpha Investments opening hundreds of packs. We, the consumer, got more and more information. And so we determined, or we were able to find that Wizards use something called track printing. I'm going to explain a little bit about that in a minute, but this predetermined print methodology has led to some gaming of the system. This is how people can box map, essentially being able to figure out exactly what rare is in exactly what pack in the box, pulling out all the money rares, and then perhaps selling all the packs without the money rares in them. Now this, in my opinion, is extraordinarily unethical. Now if you buy the box, you decide to box map it and then draft with your crazy expensive packs, I think this is a fair usage of box mapping, although I would be willing to bet less than 1% of people that actually box map are using it in this fashion. They're using it to figure out which packs have the most valuable rares and mythics in it, and then unloading the rest of the packs. And even scarier is if local game stores are doing this, which I guarantee you there are some across this country that are in fact doing this, or were at least doing this when it was easier to do. There are videos out there of people basically having a 70 or 80% hit rate in Return to Ravnica series boxes, where they're just picking out the exact rare they want. And where do you think all these loose packs are going? They're going on eBay. They're going for sale in lots. They're going, into all sorts of other things. They're going into these mystery products. They're going into these monthly Magic boxes. They're going into all sorts of stuff like that. And this, I think, is not good, obviously, for the consumer. But let me talk a little bit about track printing. And I got most of my education from Mike at MTG Purple, another YouTube channel that I enjoy. Even though he shoots on a potato cam, the guy loves Magic, and I want to shout out to him kind of boiling down this information. So let me give you an example of what track printing looks like. You have an A, B, C, and a D track, okay, of the rares and uncommons and whatever. For example, A and B has certain rares, and C and D have certain rares. Now, rares that are part of the A and B track appear, let's say, at a rate